Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, hello, my name is Jackie. I am a hairstylist slash salon owner in the Chicago area. Today I want to be sharing with you guys how I bought my first home. It is a little tricky for stylists and independent contractors to buy their own home. So today I want to share with you guys how I did it and how I did it by myself. Take a sip of my coffee because we got a lot to go over. There was a lot of factors that came into play when I was buying my first home. As everybody knows, it is really tricky to buy your own home just because you have to have money saved, you have to have a good credit score, a good no debt, and a lot of things come into play when buying a home. It did take me a couple tries to actually finally get the chance to buy my own home. But yeah, I'm gonna share with you guys how I did it. So the first thing that came into play was I did try to buy my first home back in 2020. So right now we're in 2023. I bought my home in 2022. I tried back in 2020. During COVID, the houses were low, like they weren't expensive on the market. So everybody was trying to buy a home. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna try. And I failed. They were like, no, you cannot buy a home, because I believe I had just opened my company and I had only 1 year under that my business was open. So I wasn't able to, I guess I didn't qualify. So they told me to try again in 2 years. I needed 2 years of tax returns. I waited a couple years, and something I did in the meantime while those 2 years passed was when it came time to file my taxes, I made sure that I reported almost everything. And that was obviously really hard. I know a lot of independent contractors don't really do that because they have to pay a lot in taxes. That was the only way I was gonna be able to buy a house, was if I paid more in taxes. So throughout the year, I saved every paycheck. I was saving money and putting it aside for taxes, and also putting it aside, more money aside for the home that I wanted to buy. I was just saving a lot. So that was one of the factors that would be the first thing I would recommend. If you are looking to buy a house, make sure you're recording everything on your taxes and you're putting money aside to pay for your tax, because that will be a huge factor when it comes down to seeing if you qualify to buy a house. And when I got pre-qualified, that was like the big, like, okay, yes, you are qualified, because you have to get pre-approved, or yes, you are pre-approved. That was the first like big good sign, was that my past 2 tax returns, I had a lot of money reported. So that was like a plus, because that tells you how much you can afford. I am rambling a lot. I hope this makes sense. But yes, so the next thing would be is making sure you save money. When I bought my home was $220,000. I put towards the house was $7,000. So I would honestly recommend at least saving 10 to 15. That way you have some wiggle room in case you want something more expensive. Worst case scenario, you have money saved and you don't have to use it, so that's always a bonus. I made sure I had around 10 to 15,000 because I had a budget. I didn't want to go over 200,000, but market is a little high, so I had to spend a little bit more over my budget. But I knew I did not want to go over 250 or 300. I wanted to stay in the low 200s. So yeah, that is what I did. I saved at least 10K. Something else that they really took notice when I was getting pre-approved was that my credit score was really good. If you are looking to buy a home right now, the main thing you want to focus on right now is making sure your credit score is really high, really good, just nothing below, I think, like the 600. You want to make sure you're above. But yeah, that would be another big thing, is making sure you're working on your credit score, because that's a really big key. And the next thing would be making sure you're not in debt. You don't want to have any loans taken out. The less debt, the better. So that would be another big bonus. But yeah, those were basically the 3 things that were significant when getting pre-approved, was to make sure that I had 2 years of tax return, my credit score was really good, and no debt or any loans. Right away, I thought I was going to be a really difficult candidate because I was self-employed and I was a stylist. No, I guess that wasn't the case, because I had all my stuff in line. I had all my paperwork ready to go. So that was a really big bonus, that I had the 2 years of tax returns, credit score was good, and and no debt. So I paid off my car a couple years ago, and I knew my big goal was to buy a home. So I was not taking out any loans. I didn't want to buy a new car. I was making sure my credit cards were low. But yeah, another thing I'm really grateful that I was able to do is I didn't have any co-signers. I think it would really help if you had a co-signer. I didn't want to have to worry about a co-signer because I know it's a longer process, more paperwork, and you have to make sure the person is always going to be there. But I knew that I just wanted to do it by myself independently, and yeah, that was a big thing. But yeah, guys, those are just a couple tips that I would recommend. If you guys want more info, put a couple questions down below and I'll make sure to answer them. But yeah, that's about all I have for you guys. Just when you're going through this process of buying a home, be very patient. Make sure you have all your documents in line. You just have to have everything saved. The faster you reply to your realtor, the faster the process goes. I was able to close on my home, I think it took about 3-4 weeks. So it was really fast, but yeah, you just want to make sure you're on top of it, going with the process. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. And if you have any other questions, leave them down below. But I will see you guys next time. Bye.